Hi lovely ones, it's Ethany, and today I am doing a little bit of a list share video where I'm going to be showing you some of my favorite tarot reading accessories. Now, before I swap cameras and show you some of the things that I love to use with my tarot readings, I want to take a moment to clearly state that you do not need any of these accessories to be a good reader, to be a great reader, to be a professional reader, to have accurate readings, and to enjoy the world of tarot. These are not prerequisites for any of those things, and they are not prerequisites for being a tarot professional. I have been on my path as a craft practitioner, as a witch, and as a tarot reader since I was 15 years old. I have had a long time to gather a lot of these things over the years. It's also important to note that not all tools are going to resonate or work for you. We all have different tastes. You may be less interested in ceremony and ritual than I am, and that's totally perfect. We all work differently, and that is exactly the way it's meant to be. As always, take what works for you when showing these things. If you go, oh, I may want to work with that, then that's cool. If you say, no, that's not my thing, just simply leave it. I also believe you do not, nor should you, go out and max your credit card to get all of the items that people suggest to you. In this video, in other videos, in unboxings, anything where people say, look at the pretty shiny thing that I've got. Your beliefs around money and spirituality and around spiritual items are your beliefs. You choose what you spend your money on. I choose what I spend my money on, and other people choose what they spend their money on. So I just want to say that being fiscally responsible is a spiritual practice, right? Being responsible in a way where you're making sure you're paying your bills and putting food in the fridge and all that sort of stuff is a spiritual practice. It's self-care. Okay, so I just wanted to put that out there. Don't go and max out your credit cards. If you are unable to afford something, then that's your choice, but I don't recommend doing that. Now, I'm not putting tarot or oracle decks on the list, and I'm not putting books on the list, as that is really implied that the tarot and oracle and its accompanying curriculum, its accompanying books and literature is really kind of the same thing. Plus, I've done lots of lists on decks and for books as well. So these are my favorite accessories. These are the things that I use with my readings. And with all that in mind, now we can switch cameras and take a look at my favorite things. Okay, so let's go through my list of goodies. Now, my table is completely full of stuff, so I'm gonna have to move some things around as we go. So my first thing that is on my list of favorites is my cleansing tools. So this is sage and Palo Santo, which I use quite a lot of. I have different forms of bundles. This one here is not sage. That's got some chamomile in it. This one is a sage one. I use these a lot, and I use a shell to hold them in, as you can see. I cleanse my space with them. I cleanse my cards with them through smoke ceremony. It's one of my tools that I've been using since the day dot, really, and I absolutely love working with it, and that's my number one tool. And again, these are in no particular order, but sage and Palo Santo for sure. Now, something that I have been using a lot of, I'm asthmatic, and so a lot of smoke can really bother me. And something that I think is just an absolute godsend is Chakra's essential, she does sprays, and her smudge off spray is amazing. I have given this to absolutely everyone I can think of. My son uses this. He loves it for his room. I use this a lot. It's so great to be able to quickly cleanse your space, cleanse your cards, cleanse yourself. And if you have issues with smoke, if you can't have a lot of smoke in your space, if you're in an apartment, you can't open your windows, if you need it for work, you can throw it in your handbag. This is an amazing, amazing spray. And I have the links. If I specifically talk about a product, I'll have the link for where you can get it in my blog post over at ethne.com, and that's in the description of the video. But this is one of my all-time favorite things. She has new labels. This is an older one, but I love Smudge Off. Now the next spray, which is my number 3 on my list, is the Speak Your Truth, and this is also by Chakra products, and it's the throat chakra spray. So she has sprays for Sabbath, sprays for specific energies. So this one is the Wake Me Up one, but this is for the throat chakra, and I love this. I use this to unblock myself when I can't get to a breakthrough with my writing. Things aren't coming clear, I'm getting a sore throat. I use it before readings because it's a great way to open up my throat chakra, and being a Gemini, that's very important. These two here are like my essential pair. I think I've ordered about, I've ordered a lot of them anyway from Michelle at Chakra products, and they are wonderful. And again, they're portable, so it's so great to have those. Now, my next accessory are tarot bags, and I have got a ton of them. So let's go through and I'll show you a few different variants. The first lot are from my lovely friend Divine Octava. She's on Etsy. Look at this beautiful mermaid bag. She does oracle ones. She can do custom orders. I think she might have a few. This is for a tarot. This has got my star tarot in it. They're beautifully made. They're fully lined with these buttons. I think I've lost count with how many, whoops, I'm knocking that over. Lost count with how many of her bags I actually have. This is another one of her beautiful bags. Look at the fairies, the forest fairies. So I love her these are all handmade. And then I can't sew. I wish I could. If I could sew, I would be a very happy woman, but honestly, they told me to just stop in home economics in high school. That's how bad I am at sewing. My mum actually made me quite a few bags a little while ago. I wanted bigger ones for some of my larger decks. So these from my mama, and I got quite a few of those. This was from Lisa McLaughlin. I'm not sure if she's making these anymore, but the Textured Tarot creator, and the Tree Wisdom cards, the Life Path cards. Yeah, look at that. It's got room for, I've showed this before, a little notebook. This was a custom one that she did for me a long while ago. You can put your deck in there, your little notebook. There's room for a pen. Beautiful way to travel with this. You'll have to ask her if she's ever going to make these again, but this is one of my favorites. Oh, this is another one from Divine Octava on Etsy. Wonder Woman. I adore Wonder Woman. Now, for those of you who are around Barnes & Noble or Chapters in Canada, they have the most beautiful pencil cases every now and then, and they usually, if you wait a little bit of time, they usually go on sale. So I usually snap up a few. They're zipped. They hold different sizes. They're really, actually, I have an extra one of these I'm going to do a giveaway with very soon. So I really like them, and you can pick them up for like $10 or less. When you wait for them to go on sale, I usually do wait for them to go on sale, but that's a really great place. They're meant to be pencil cases, but I think they're perfect for decks. And another thing is, someone got me onto this a little while ago. Now, I cancelled my subscription because I am not a makeup person. I wear mascara if you're lucky, and I will sometimes wear makeup when I'm doing my videos or when I'm on a date night. But I really don't like makeup. My skin is super sensitive, so I just don't like it. But Ipsy.com has, and this is not sponsored by them in any way, shape or form, but you get little bags with Ipsy. So for $10 USD a month, you can get a bag, and you can also get all these makeup samples. And I wasn't using the makeup samples, so I stopped. But the bags can be great for tarot. I actually have the Hardy Tarot, I believe, in a black Ipsy bag, but they're branded, so it does say Ipsy on them, and that was kind of a bit of a deal breaker for me too. But if you like makeup, if you're in that and you need some bags, you get a 2-for-1 deal, so I reckon that's a pretty good. So bags, lots of tarot bags. You don't have to keep them in bags. I've got many boxes. I've got, oh my gosh, I should go through the way I store my decks in one of my videos. I've got shelves, drawers, I've got, you name it, I'm storing them in them, boxes. So store them however you like. It's really up to you. The next one is jewelry. I like rings. I'm very much a ring girl. I'm not a massive jewelry person, but 2 pieces that are very, very, very special to me and important to me in my practice. I'm going to take everything else off but these 2. Whoops. Oh my gosh, sorry, I keep knocking the camera. Is this ring. I got this back in 2006, I believe, in Melbourne at Spellbox, and it's a pentacle, and I love it because I could wear it in my corporate job and also have that symbol that is very important to me as a witch at work. And I've had this on ever since. I don't think I've ever taken it off, and I have my fairly new B ring, so now I have on my 2 hands in the middle these 2 rings, which mean quite a lot. And then I actually just, whatever I feel like I'm going to work with energy wise, I'll use for the day. So black tourmaline, good for protection, moonstone, good for psychic development, also for protection. And I love snakes as well. So I rotate my jewelry when I'm doing readings. It's very ritualistic for me. I'm wearing a pentacle necklace right now. I'm wearing moon earrings, but I don't adorn a lot of jewelry. But for me, it is part of the ritual of a tarot reading. So the next thing that I do, and I use a lot of crystals, and I create crystal altars. So I'm actually going to create one while I'm going through this. So I usually start with a candle holder, and then I build around it, and I purposefully choose the stones I want to work with for the day that I have. So do I want to create an altar of peace or love? Do I want to create something to help me connect with my guides? I'm actually speaking about this at the Northwest Tarot Symposium next year. I'm actually going to be talking about tarot altars and tarot ritual. So if you've seen anything of mine on Instagram, if you've had a reading with me, you'll see these altars, and I always do them before a reading. I set the space. It gets me in the zone. I really enjoy it. It's like it enables me to really connect with myself. It's a little creative practice as well. Like, it allows me to kind of go, how can I make this really pretty today? And, not just pleasing for me, but to hold space. So as you can see, I've got a lot of purpley stones, a lot of amethyst, and selenite, rose quartz, and clear quartz. So I create little crystal rituals. I live with my son, who's 4, and my reading space, I set it up every day and I take it down every day. And I have my office space, which remains the same, and I have altars all over the house, but my reading altars get created every day I do a reading. And that is specifically what I like to do, because it gets me in the mindset, it gets me in the space. So you'll see that's these ritual altars that I do, and that's the reason why I do them. And it's really fun. I should use these beautiful stones that I have, right? No use keeping them hidden away from the world. So my crystal altars are very important to me. I'll also put goddess statues or anything if I'm working with a particular deity at the time, and I swap them around and move them. So I really enjoy creating those altars. It's a little self-care practice for me. Now I have two of the next thing to show you. These are bells. The first one I got from the Witch's Moon subscription box last year or early this year. Such a beautiful triple goddess bell. And I've had these tincture bells since I was probably 15 or 16. So as you can see, they're really like beginning to wear. I've had them for a very, very, very long time. I use bells when I'm cleansing a space or cleansing something. I have a full ritual that I do, and bells is one part of the ritual. It's one layer of the ritual. It's one process of the ritual. I love bells. It reminds me of fairies as well for some reason. Well, I know why, but it reminds me of fairies. And yeah, I use bells a lot to cleanse, to set intention, to clear the space. And it's a really good way also to kind of move energy through your chakras. And they're lovely little tools to have around if you need to shift something, or you need to shift something, especially in your throat chakra. Now my candles, I use a lot of little candle holders with the just little tea lights, because again, I don't have the space right now to have a permanent reading space that is not a personal altar. So my personal altars are different. So I use these little ones in these beautiful I've got different candle holders. I've got this beautiful amethyst one, and I switch them out as I work with them. I light a white candle as a spirit candle. This was a practice that I learnt when I started doing psychic development many, many years ago. It's a way for me to invite my guides, invite spirit, bring the space in. It's another kind of important little ritual for me, and it's a part of me bringing the altar space in. So I used to use the bigger candles in glass, but what I was finding is as you get down to the bottom, the sides were getting really dirty with the like wax residue and black smoke residue, and so I was finding that it was actually not just unattractive, but it kind of felt dirty too. So you dirty thing. So I actually stopped using them and started using tea lights, and I prefer them. The only thing is I need to find a way to use tea lights that is more recyclable so that the aluminum is not going to waste. But I also tried to use the tea lights without the base, and it was so messy that I had to throw out I ruined the Himalayan salt candle trying to clean it. So if anyone can tell me of a nice alternative, a medium alternative, please let me know. I'm all ears. So candles for me are a nice important thing. And again, I'm a witch. I love ritual. Not every witch does, but I certainly do. So the next two things, I'm just going to move some stuff around. Like I said, I've got a ton of things on. The next two things I have are my tarot journal. And I've had this cover for a very long time. What I love about this one is that you can actually remove the book inside and replace it. So, I mean, I've got coupon tickets. Oh, look at that, raffle tickets from last year at Newt's. I've got all sorts of fun stuff in here. But as you can see, this is dated from, this entry here is dated from 2011. So I have got spreads in there. I've got all sorts of fun stuff all the way through the back. Notes. I'm not going to stop and read any of it because again, it's my journal and it's not very glamorous. I don't have a lot of time to do lots of beauty. I see some people's tarot journals and I get so jealous at how just gorgeous they are. I wish I was that artistically inclined, but alas, I am not. But I still have a ton of journals. I've got personal journals, mirror books, grimoires, books of shadows. I like having multiple notebooks for multiple things. I know some people like having them all in one place. I tried that, it don't work for me. And the other thing I have is this purple book. And what this is I've given each tarot card each tarot card 2 pages, and when I read something or I have a breakthrough on the card, I actually write it down. They're dot points mostly, and it's a way for me to kind of culminate information that I want to stick with me, that I have either not read somewhere or that is really stuck with me. And what I found from creating decks and reading a lot is that a lot comes to me with some cards, and then a lot doesn't come from these other ones. But this is like, for me, I feel like this is going to be my holy grail when I'm like older, and I've got like all these notes from every single card that I should probably write the basics down as well. But considering I've written guidebooks for the Bad Bitches Tarot, I've written writing the tarot meanings on my website. That's really my purple tarot book is really for different perspectives or things that I want to remember. Now I love tea, so the next thing is tea. One of my favorites is the Yogi Lemon Ginger. As a matter of fact, as soon as this is done recording, I am going to go make myself a cup. I talk a lot, funnily enough, so I like keeping my throat lubricated, and lemon and ginger is just so good for you. I love the little, you get little affirmations on these, and I always buy them when they're on sale. So whenever these go on sale, I'm like, yoink, I like stock up. So my cupboards usually have a few, and it's got no GMO. And the other brand that I really like, which I rarely get, is Mighty Leaf, because again, these are quite expensive. So this is like that's a real treat. That's a real treat for me to buy Mighty Leaf. But I love tea. I have some loose packed tea, but things like, I remember going into David's Tea, I was like, my friend Michelle got me onto this beautiful tea dispenser, and I was like, I'm going to get all into loose leaf. And my closest apothecary is ages away, so I used to work in one, so that's a different story altogether. But I went into David's Tea and I said, do you have any organic lemon and ginger? And they said no. And I was like, well, I'm not putting unorganic ginger and lemon in my face. So that's why I buy the tea bags, otherwise I would. I should get my friend who's a herbalist to make it up for me. I know. Then we have I have oils is another one. Now oils, I have just 2 samples here. This one is the June Story Aromatherapy Third Eye Chakra Perception Oil. EO Chakra Products, who I was talking about before, also has oils and balms for all of the chakras. You can use these like on your wrists, on your temples. Oh my God, it smells so good. Just make sure that you know what's in them, and you do a bit of a test. And this one here is the Unseen, a Psychic Protection Blend. I use oils to anoint candles, especially for spell work, but in my practice I like to have them on my wrists, on my temples, or my third eye sometimes as well, as a part of my tarot rituals. I don't use them all the time, especially with my skin, on my face because of my skin, but my wrists, it infuses the cards too in a way. It's lovely. And then finally, my singing bowl. I have 2. Not playing. I have 2 of them. I have a massive crystal bowl as well, but I didn't want to, that would take up a lot of the table. But again, this is a lovely way to cleanse cards, cleanse your space. It's lovely for chanting. It's another beautiful little ritual tool that I use because tarot for me is that magic practice, and I realize that it's not for everybody, but it definitely is for me. So these are this is my bounty. This is what I work with. If you were to come to my space, if you were to work with me, if you've had a reading with me, you've probably seen some of these things, but these are my favorite tarot reading accessories in no particular order. I just wanted to share them with you. I'd love to hear what you use, what you find to be the most effective and fun for your practice. And as always, thank you for watching. I know this is a bit of a departure from some of the more tutorial ones, but I want to do something a little bit fun, mix it up a little bit. And I would love to hear what you use in your practice. And yeah, thanks for stopping by.